Hey everybody, welcome back to TCO Studios at the TCO Performance Center in Eagan. I'm Wobby, and it's time for another edition of the Pick 6. Training camp is going on. Make sure you click around Vikings.com and the Vikings app to catch our coverage of 2019 Verizon Vikings training camp. But for now, let's get to work, answer some of your questions. The first one comes from Nick in St. Cloud, Minnesota. Who are the standouts at camp so far, Wobby? Well, this is an easy one, Nick. The guys who should be standing out in the early stages of training camp are indeed standing out. Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen, Kyle Rudolph, they all look good. The Vikings' first team defense also looks really good. I love the way our pass rush is rounding into form. But the one maybe surprise standout is a young guy, Alexander Mattison. The Vikings put the pads on over the weekend, and the young running back looked really good. He's a physical downhill runner. Can't wait to watch him in the games. Question number 2 comes from Zach in Denver, Colorado. Why does it seem like it's so hard to be good and have depth at cornerback? I thought we were good last year, but with injuries/suspensions and the season here, I'm kind of worried. Well, Zach, don't be worried about the starters. We're good there. Mackenzie Alexander in the slot had his best season as a pro last year. Xavier Rhodes, Trey Waynes on the outside. We're in really good shape. Where we're going to have to watch and hope for some improvement is the depth, because you're right. Holton Hill will begin the season as a suspended player, and Mike Hughes is still coming back. So we need some young guys to step up and provide some depth. I'm really excited about Chris Boyd and the development we could see from him over the course of training camp and the preseason. There are some others to watch as well, but watch out for Boyd. Hopefully he has a big summer for us at camp. Next question comes from Jerunik. How does the future look for our running back duo? Well, the Vikings do have a good 1-2 punch at running back with starter Dalvin Cook, who's going to be the workhorse, and with Alexander Mattison, who, as I said, looks good running the football early in camp. But those aren't the only running backs who can make a difference for the Vikings. Veteran C.J. Ham as a fullback/H-back/special team standout. He's going to impact us in 2019. I love the way he looks in training camp. And Amir Abdullah, he's also a dual threat guy. He can catch it. He can run it. He's good in pass pro. He can also help on special teams. He might even be our kickoff returner. So I love the Vikings' talent and depth in the running back room. Next question comes from Alexis in Burnsville. Do you think Dalvin Cook has the potential to be a top rusher in the NFL? I do. Yes, I do, Alexis, and especially with the emphasis the Vikings are putting on improving the running game. I think Dalvin Cook has the talent and is going to have the opportunity to be a top rusher in the NFL if he can stay healthy. He doesn't have to do it alone. We have Mattison and C.J. Ham and Amir Abdullah, but I love the way Dalvin Cook looks. He's healthy, he's fresh. Can't wait to watch him run the ball for us in 2019. Next question comes from Derek in Rosemont, Minnesota. How would you explain Coach Gary Kubiak's offensive mindset? Well, I think Coach Kubiak has had a lot of success coaching in the NFL. He's won a Super Bowl, in fact, and he's had head coaching stops in Houston and in Denver. And the one thing you always associate with Coach Kubiak is a powerful running game, good play action in the passing game, and getting the quarterback moving on the bootleg. So those are some elements you'll see Kevin Stefanski incorporate into his offense that Gary Kubiak is known for. But also remember, Gary Kubiak will be a good resource for head coach Mike Zimmer. Never a bad thing to have another head coach with experience in your building helping you out. Next question comes from Jerry in Stillwater, Minnesota. Does Coach Zimmer account for rest days for the players, especially the veterans, during this grueling stretch of camp/the preseason? He definitely does. In fact, Jerry, Vikings have an off day this week. Tuesday of this week is a player's day off, but there are other ways to give players, especially veterans, some rest. You can curb some of their practice reps throughout the course of training camp, the preseason, and especially once you get into the regular season. You want those guys to be healthy and you want them to be fresh, especially if you're in it to win it down the stretch of the regular season. That's going to do it for this week's edition of the Pick 6. Thank you for joining us, and thank you, as always, for submitting your questions. We can't do this without your questions. So use the email address at the bottom of the screen. Send us your question or opinion, and maybe we'll see you in next week's edition of the Pick 6.